Hey everybody, it's Coach Debbie Potts, and I wanted to share with you some definitions that I think might help you understand what people are talking about on their platforms, podcasts, YouTube channels. What is metabolic health? What is metabolic flexibility? So, we're going to go through a few definitions. I just thought this would help. I was putting together a seminar for Solana Beach next week, and I thought, hey, you guys might want to know this too, because mitochondrial health is a big topic. Dr. Casey Means is talking about the importance of mitochondria function as we age and how all this ties together with insulin resistance, with metabolic flexibility, and really improving the aging process. So let's go through some uh, definitions. So I call this being a health optimizer, doing what you can do now. What can you control? What is a choice? And taking ownership of your health. I also say self-care is self-love, loving yourself enough to prioritize your health first, knowing what you are doing today is going to impact who you are in 5, 10, 20, 30 years from now. And it might just seem silly to focus on that far in advance of your figuring out who you are, your future self, but we want to work on who we are now, but also our future self. Being a health optimizer. Let's figure out what that is. Now, nutritional therapy I talk about is I'm a functional nutritional therapy practitioner that's working on nutrition and kind of root cause medicine, working on the pillars of health, starting at a cellular level, whole foods, balanced meals, working on our lifestyle, working on our health habits, our morning sunshine, grounding, being barefoot on earth, help recharge your batteries, stress management, sleep, movement, and exercise, which, those are two different things. Exercise, as I went for an hour bike ride, did some hills this morning, and I need to still move throughout the day. So I need my exercise each day, and I need some strength training. So exercise will break that down into strength training, cardio zone 2, interval training, and then we have our movement snacks we want to take throughout the day, getting movement every hour, and then supplement what you're missing as omega-3 fatty acids, taking magnesium blend at night, or vitamin D a lot of us need. So looking at what you can do with our nutrition, exercise, lifestyle habits, breath work, being mindful, all of this is being a health optimizer to me. And then biohacking, it might be that, natural free stuff as I talk about grounding, morning sunlight to reset your circadian rhythm, doing some breath work, but also, if it's red light therapy, sauna, different things you can use, or heart rate variability testing metrics. So collecting data to figure out how to be your best self and live your best life. And my goal, also look my best as I age. All right, metabolism. What is that? The set of life-sustaining chemical reactions that convert food into energy, build and repair tissues, and manage waste products. Efficient metabolism is essential for metabolic health, involving optimal functioning of metabolic pathways, prevents disruptions in glucose or lipid, which is fat, metabolism, reducing the risk of metabolic diseases. So what is metabolic health? Well, let's break it down. Mitochondria and cellular health. So our mitochondria produce energy. You can see the picture. I didn't put it on this slide, but this cell with the squiggly lines in it, it's always the picture of a mitochondria. But it's a powerhouse of the cell, everyone always says. What's the definition of mitochondria? It's the powerhouse of the cell, but it's responsible for producing ATP, and that is a primary energy currency of the cell. Efficient ATP production is essential for maintaining cellular function and vitality. So as Dr. Casey Means is speaking about her Good Energy book, She's talking about the importance of going backwards to the root cause, looking at mitochondria health. If we cannot create cellular energy, how are we to function? And being a health optimizer, we should be working on what we can do now to improve our mitochondria health. So regulation of cellular metabolism, that's talking about mitochondria and their role in metabolic pathways to convert to make energy. So citric acid cycle, oxidative phosphorylation, big words, but these are terms, processes in our body to convert nutrients into usable energy. So working on using carbohydrates and fat for energy. So cellular metabolism. Apoptosis, cellular renewal. So mitochondria play a role in programmed cell death, which is essential for removing damaged or dysfunctional cells, making the way for healthy new cells. So we'll talk about creating new cells and getting rid of the dead, used, broken down, dysfunctional cells. Really important that we need to do that. Clean house, make room for the new ones. So how are mitochondria related to aging? As Dr. Casey Sims Stacy Sims, Dr. Casey means, getting everyone's name mixed up. How does a mitochondria health impact the aging process? As we age, mitochondria function tends to decline due to cumulative damage from oxidative stress. Note that for athletes, we get oxidative stress and reduced biogenesis. We don't have as much creating new biogenesis, mitochondria. So again, think about that. That's controllable. So this decline contributes to cellular energy, decreased output, increased oxidative stress, and impaired cellular functions. So if aging is related to cumulative damage, we're not taking the garbage out and getting in new, fresh garbage cans, empty them out, we can change this. Oxidative stress. Mitochondria are both a source and target of what's called reactive oxygen species. You'll see this word just for short, ROS. So with aging, the balance between ROS production and antioxidant defenses, so think of that teeter-totter, up oxidative stress, ROS, reactive oxygen species produced versus antioxidant. Where's the teeter-totter tipping up or down? So oxidative damage, if that's too much, more than the antioxidants, we have more oxidative damage versus the defense system. That contributes to the aging process and the age-related diseases. Solution, we'll talk about it. Mitochondria DNA, what's this related to? Now, your DNA mutation, susceptible DNA of the mitochondria, susceptible to mutations due to proximity of the electron transport chain, also short, you'll see the word ETC, and the lack of protective histones. These mutations can impair mitochondrial function and contribute to the aging process. What can we do about it? First, let's go into more areas that can go wrong and what we want to think about as we age. Insulin sensitivity, fat metabolism, thermogenesis. So how are the mitochondria related to these functions? As Dr. Casey means is saying, everything's connected. It's not just one or the other. Every part of the body processes impact the other. as the orchestra, all the players need to be working together as a team. So as we age, especially as aging females with their hormones changing, insulin sensitivity is a goal. It might be a little more challenging. So again, don't blame the aging process, embrace it and do things a little differently so we stay insulin sensitive. So if we have proper mitochondria function, we should be able to have insulin sensitivity. But if we have dysfunctional, not functioning right, mitochondria, this can lead to insulin resistance. And this is the hallmark of metabolic disorders as type 2 diabetes. And I just saw, I think as Ben Azadi was saying in his seminar, you can be prone to type 2 diabetes showing higher insulin levels, which your doctor is not testing, and it only costs $10 to $20 to run yourself. So get your own labs on Alta Labs, DHA, or Rupa Health, or Self-Decode. You can check for diabetes. Precursor is looking at your insulin. So up to 14 years, I heard Ben say that your insulin can be higher before it starts showing up in type 2 diabetes. So your glucose may look okay, but your insulin is elevated. That's what you want to look for. Now, fat metabolism is involved with mitochondria, of course, beta oxidation of fatty acids to create ATP. But if our mitochondria are not functioning at optimal level, this can lead to dyslipidemia, accumulation of fat in not just fat tissues, but non-adipose tissues, contributing to metabolic syndrome. Think about fatty liver. Thermogenesis and weight management, mitochondria in brown adipose tissue. So think about what we hear about the benefits of cold therapy, creating more brown fat versus white fat. Mitochondria are more active in the brown fat, and this is involved in creating heat. That's why the cold plunges help create more brown fat because your body's trying to heat itself up. So this is important for energy expenditure and weight management, but I also add in lean body mass is more important, I would say, my own assumption, to increase muscle mass than just getting more brown fat. But yes, brown fat does help burn more calories, more active tissue. So how do we improve mitochondria function? Well, we have nutritional interventions we'll hear about. But again, you want to personalize this. Don't just listen to podcasts, read things online, watch some videos, and take 20 different supplements that you heard that were good for mitochondria. We want to know what your body is low in and what its ingredients it's needing to create better cell health. So it's not just supplementing, because as I've always said, you can't out-exercise poor nutrition habits. You can't out-supplement poor lifestyle habits. So antioxidants, of course, to balance out the oxidative stress is important away from exercise. Vitamin C, vitamin E, CoQ10. Omega-3 fatty acids are good for reducing inflammation and brain health, cell health, and other nutrients can support mitochondria function. I've done a podcast with MitoPure, but I am looking at taking that to see if that helps. I want to do a little test. Now, exercise, of course, helps mitochondria biogenesis, so creating new mitochondria cells, and efficiency. And mitochondria capacity, we'll talk about later, is created with exercise. Now, supplementation, NAD precursors, NAD plus, alpha lipoic acid, carnitine can support mitochondria health. You can also just focus on more red meat that's grass-fed, grass-finished. Stress reduction, of course, is my background. Chronic stress wins over everything. So if you're chronically stressed, all these other efforts to increase mitochondria health are lost. So as we talked about in recent podcasts, sleep is number one, but I don't know, hand in hand, managing your stress, because if you're stressed out, you can't sleep. Chronic stress may be important just as sleep. So managing chronic stress with mindfulness, breathing exercises, meditation, adequate sleep, all can help reduce mitochondrial dysfunction that are associated with stress. Environmental toxins are stressors as well, and reducing your exposure, what you can control, is challenging in our environment, but damaging the mitochondria, DNA, and the function. So this can all help maintain or restore mitochondrial function, helping cell health, slow down the aging process, and in result, improve our overall metabolic health. Just a note again on oxidative stress, because a lot of my followers and listeners are endurance athletes as myself, I don't race anymore, but I still work out as a triathlete, swim at lunchtime, bike or run in the morning. I lift weights, I do some yoga, do my beach walks, but treating that oxidative stress is something we need to be aware of as athletes. It's that bell curve on the benefits of exercise. We're on the other side of that bell, curve of the bell. So oxidative stress refers to the imbalanced production of ROS and the body's ability to counteract harmful effects through neutralizing the reactive oxygen species with antioxidants. ROS are chemically reactive molecules containing oxygen as superoxide anion, hydrogen peroxide, and hydroxyl radicals. While ROS plays important roles in cell signaling, homeostasis, excessive ROS can damage cellular components, including lipids, proteins, and DNA, and also cause other problems with exercise too much. How does this impact our mitochondria? So you can go into this a little more. I won't read all this, but mitochondria, DNA, we talked about a little bit. Oxidative damage to the mitochondria components, and then antioxidant defense mechanisms as the enzymes as SOD, superoxide dismutase, glutathione peroxidase, and catalysts, which help neutralize ROS. And we'll do an upcoming podcast on glutathione with Aura Wellness. Very excited to talk to them about glutathione, but adequate function of these enzymes is essential for mitochondria health maintenance. So I know I've been taking True Niagen over the years, and now I'm trying this different glutathione spray morning and night by Aura Wellness. I have Quicksilver Scientific. I have their glutathione complex is called. It has some B vitamins in it. Taking that in the morning sometimes, so I'll alternate what I do. And then NAD, precursor to glutathione. And then what foods you eat. So cellular health is obviously an important part. Excessive oxidative stress can lead to damage of your cells. And healthy mitochondria with effective antioxidant defenses are crucial for preventing cellular damage. So I just went into this again a little deeper, a little more rabbit hole, because we athletes are creating more oxidative stress. So we need to be more aware of this accumulative damage that's happening as we age. But the mitochondria-free radical theory of aging suggests that cumulative oxidative damage to mitochondria over time contributes to the aging process. As mitochondria become less efficient with age, ROS production increases, leading to further oxidative damage and functional decline. So with that, again, be preventative. We know this is common to happen as we age, especially as athletes that we're exercising, creating even more oxidative damage. So we should be taking antioxidants, working on reducing the damage and getting mitophagy, getting rid of the dead cells and helping create new ones. Metabolic health, remember, is related to less oxidative stress. So oxidative stress is linked to metabolic disorders as insulin resistance, because Reactive oxygen species can impair insulin signaling pathways. This can contribute to insulin resistance, and type 2 diabetes happens over time because of insulin resistance. Obesity, mitochondria dysfunction, and oxidative stress can disrupt lipid metabolism, fat metabolism, leading to fat accumulation and obesity. So, cardiovascular disease, oxidative damage to mitochondrial components and cardiac and vascular tissues can contribute to development of cardiovascular disease. But just to go back to this obesity, mitochondrial dysfunction and oxidative stress can disrupt fat metabolism. So if you are, as I say in my What I Do speech, struggling to get the desired results, even though you're doing all the right things, nothing's happening in the fat loss program. What if you have damaged mitochondria? Instead of focusing on what you're eating, your exercise program, perhaps we need to bring our attention back to the cellular level, mitochondria function, and working on mitochondria, eliminating the dead ones, as I said, and reducing oxidative stress. Can we improve our cell health? Will that help our fat metabolism? So, opposite of leading to fat accumulation and obesity, we want to reduce fat accumulation and reduce chances of obesity. So sometimes we need to go a little bit deeper and figure out the why. Why am I struggling? What's not functioning at optimal level? Note the word dysfunction, imbalance. We're out of balance. We're not functioning right. So cardiovascular diseases, kind of what Dr. Casey Sims is saying, or Mins. Oh my gosh, Dr. Casey means, not Stacy Sims, how this is all coming back to mitochondria health. This kind of led me down this rabbit hole of what is the connection of mitochondria to metabolic health, to cardiovascular disease. So you can see oxidative damage to mitochondria components and cardiac vascular tissues can contribute to development of cardiovascular disease. All right, so strategies: antioxidant-rich diet, high in antioxidants to help neutralize excessive ROS. Remember, it's that Goldilocks effect for everything. You need the right amount to counteract. We don't want none of it, like cholesterol. We need cholesterol. It just helps make our steroid sex hormones. Supplementation. Specific supplements is CoQ10. We talked about vitamin E, vitamin C, alpha lipoic acid. And this is where we want to look at genetics. What does your body need more genetically if we're trying to work on this? Some people don't need as much as others. What type would work best? That's where we want to run a report, correlate the data together. Mitochondria antioxidant defenses. That's what we're trying to support. Now, regular exercise we talked about, mitochondria efficiency, antioxidant capacity to reduce oxidative stress, but this is that bell curve, the right amount, not excessive, because then we're creating more oxidative stress with too much exercise. Fasting, time-restricted eating have improved mitochondrial function and reduce oxidative stress. Stress management, chronic stress can increase oxidative stress, as we said. So meditation, yoga, sleep hygiene routine, getting up outside and moving, morning routine is really important to that sleep-wake cycle. And as we discussed, avoiding environmental toxins, reducing your exposure, what you control. As I said, this is not very easy to do, but you could choose your household items, heavy metals, toxins, pollutants that can cause oxidative damage to mitochondria. Okay, so how do you create new mitochondria? So we can go into that. Mitochondria efficiency is the ability of the mitochondria to produce ATP effectively while minimizing the production of ROS. Efficient mitochondria have high capacity for creating more energy, so higher ATP production with lower levels of electron leakage in ROS generation. Factors influencing Mitochondria efficiency include, big words, quality of mitochondria components, the membrane integrity, the inner mitochondrial membrane. And so we get a little more sciencey substrate availability and utilization. Mitochondrial biogenesis and efficiency. So the exercise type, exercise activates AMPK and PGC1 alpha, promoting growth and function of mitochondria. We talked a little bit about fasting, but the calorie intake without malnutrition has shown to enhance mitochondrial biogenesis, activating the AMPK pathway and sirtuins. Nutrient timing, intermittent fasting, and time-restricted feeding can stimulate these pathways. So 2 options here, but we don't want to do both at the same time. So I would do a fasting as a 16-hour fast, 8-hour time-restricted eating window on your non-exercise day. That'd be on your rest day. Problem we've gotten into the past few years, 5-10 years, people got into fasting and exercising too much, leading to low energy availability, LEA, and malnutrition. So we were eating less, and I was doing this myself. So daily components, looking at the CoQ10, I said E, alpha lipoic acid, polyphenols, omega-3 fatty acids. Because remember, the mitochondrial membrane, the cell membrane composition is made from fat. So those people doing everything fat-free, you want to get essential fatty acids into your diet. So having a smashed fish diet or adding a supplement if you're not liking smashed fish, as myself. Okay, so lifestyle, talk about that. Metabolic health is important for disease prevention, longevity. So metabolic health, important part of managing our glucose levels, our insulin sensitivity, work all together, metabolic flexibility, mitochondrial health, and efficient metabolism to help avoid disease. So a little bit more mitochondrial health information, mitochondrial dysfunction, inflexibility, metabolic flexibility we talked about last time. So talking lastly about metabolic flexibility and when it gets impaired, that's the ability to switch from burning fat to using carbohydrates or fat as fuel. So the metabolic pathways in response to various physiological clues. So basically, metabolic flexibility allows the body to effectively and efficiently use whatever fuel available to meet its energy needs. So maintaining good energy balance, regulating blood sugar levels, supporting overall health are all important parts because metabolic inflexibility is related to obesity, insulin resistance, and type 2 diabetes. So we need the ability to be burning fat at rest and then still not lose the ability to switch to burning carbs for fuel when you're running, sprinting, going all out. You need to be able to shift that carb metabolism and then quickly come back to fat metabolism. So we need to have that ability to flex back and forth. So we went into this last episode and I did a Instagram live with Lumen, and then we'll talk about Pinoy a little bit more, how I test this at rest. But just to wrap up the connections, metabolic flexibility, how inflexibility is connected to mitochondrial health, because mitochondrial health is crucial for supporting metabolic flexibility, overall metabolic health, because we know now dysfunction of our mitochondria leads to metabolic inflexibility because we can't make that fat, create energy and related health issues. And we know metabolic health requires efficient function in metabolic processes. It needs metabolic flexibility in healthy mitochondria. So if we don't have that ability to flex back and forth in our metabolism and our mitochondria are broken and not able to create energy, we have poor metabolic health. So we want to identify if we have a sluggish metabolism, you have difficulty with weight and exercise, feeling tired, sluggish, you have cravings. Let's look at your lifestyle. Let's look at what you're eating. But a lot of you already do well here, but maybe it's that chronic stress. You're just nonstop. You're trying everything too much. And that goes with what I say is less is more. You're not prioritizing sleep, maybe. You can Pick what area you feel like you need more work on. Looking on the wellness wheel, looking at your genetics helps, but really you just work on the low hanging fruit, looking at stress. And my nose keeps dripping. So, metabolic syndrome's what we want to avoid, but know that even though you're an athlete exercising, you can have challenges in this area. So we want to look at the whole you from the inside out, make sure you're working on what I call the holistic health. So working on your future self, metabolic flexibility, insulin sensitivity, because these are all connected to preventing chronic diseases. So hopefully that helps give a little insight. Learn more on my coaching programs, the holistic method, where we work on nutrition, exercise, sleep, stress, movement, digestion and gut health, hydration, mineral balance, happiness, joy, and play. So let me know if you have any more questions. Just reach out to Debbie Potts, Coach Debbie Potts on YouTube and Instagram, Facebook. So let me know your questions, debbiepotts.net. Have a great day.